Alrighty, peeps, here we are with the man, the myth, the Mountain King, Chris Klevan, who I had the pleasure of working with these last 8 weeks in, I would say, more of my MBS style life coaching program. And what we're going to do today, peeps, is just kind of talk about Chris's experience, sort of some of the things that he went through, some of the experiences that he had, just to create a little bit more clarity around the process that we do here with Pillars of Growth and that I work with my clients in. So thanks so much for being on, Chris. And peeps, if you want to know, Chris is a fitness coach, mindset coach, and ex-NPC physique competitor. Super knowledgeable guy, super fun, super cool. I've known him for a really long time. Also likes to play video games. I also like to play video games. So we're not going to get into too much of that today, but at the end, I'm definitely going to make sure I post his links below so you can follow him, check him out. And I know he's going to be back in the game here soon, sharing stuff business-wise. So be ready for that. Chris, how are you doing today, brother?
Dude, it's been a great day. It's been awesome, man.
Right on.
It's been awesome. I'm feeling great. I'm excited for this.
Here we go. We're just going to dive in. First question. What did you originally sign up with me for in the MBS program? What were you originally looking to get out of this experience?
For me, I was originally looking to get some clarity in myself. Kind of after everything that happened with me personally on like a personal level, some things in my life kind of left me feeling just a bit, in disarray. And I wanted to kind of get back in touch with reality in a way for myself and figure out even like kind of what I wanted my next chapter to be about, what I wanted to do with myself, what I wanted my business to be about, a lot of different things. And I realized a lot and wanted to get from you the path that I needed to take, really. That's something that I've known you for a while now. So anytime that I felt like I was at my best, you were more connected with me in some way or another, just kind of helping me get back on the right path that I needed to be. So I knew that it was in some way that you were just going to be there to help me kind of realize things that I couldn't realize on my own.
And realize we did, peeps.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we did.
My follow-up question to that, Chris, is at the beginning of this experience, you felt a certain way versus now you feel a certain way. So my question to you is, how did you feel at the beginning of this experience only 8 weeks ago working with me? And that's 8 sessions, peeps. That's all it is. And how do you feel now?
Man, when I came in, I was lost. I felt anxious. In a lot of ways, I kind of felt depressed. I just kind of didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life anymore. Like, I was doing a certain thing for a certain amount of time. And, after going through a heavy loss, it felt like, I was living in just fear and living in anxiety and living in all these things, to now feeling like, I have complete and total certainty of exactly where I'm going, what I want to do. I'm letting things just kind of happen, just go through the motions. And I've recognized that anxiety it's not who I am. And anxiety on its core, level is just a defense mechanism. That's all it is. And when you understand anxiety the way it is, you realize that it's just your body's way of saying, hey, a long time ago, or we've had experiences that have caused us to feel this certain way, but that doesn't mean you have to give into it. It doesn't mean that you can't tell yourself, hey, whoa, like, it's cool, man. It's all good. I know that you were, programmed to feel this way. And it's totally okay that you were programmed to feel this way because they recognize that you've had these experiences. But at the end of the day, like, those experiences are done and you don't need to feel that way anymore. And so that's what has really kind of brought me to this moment, as well as like just learning so much along the way and being able to recognize those emotions for what they are and just feeling them and being like, all right, that's that. I felt it. We're good. Like, there's nothing else to go about here,
How does it feel to feel, brother?
Oh, it feels great, man. Like, I've been so much more in touch with myself emotionally and like just how I want to feel, like, and just being able to kind of bring that forward. I mean, sure, like we always are going to struggle with certain things. Like, it's just going to happen, but it's not as much of a struggle anymore. You don't feel like a victim to your emotions. You feel like you're in control of them. That's the way it is. We're all going to feel pain at some point. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. But it's really more of a, choosing to feel that pain and being like, I am in control of this pain. And I know that I need to feel this right now. So that way I can learn from it and be able to not hold it in anymore and let it plague me for a longer period of time.
Oof. All that, bro. So
You
much.
know, a slow and painful death by 1,000 cuts instead of, you know, just feeling it and being like, ooh, that wound hurt. Damn, that hurt. But you know what? Now I can heal.
Yeah.
You know, instead of continuously taking the blade to yourself.
Which is what you feel like you used to do.
Oh, I definitely did that. I think I did that for the longest time. I thought it was, and actually this might be something that a lot of people can learn from too. Like, you holding things in doesn't necessarily mean they don't go away. Like they're there. They're gonna stay there and they're gonna seep out of you eventually if you don't tap into it. So instead of just taking the bullet and being like, oh, shake it off, you're literally slice, 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 and just feeling it and feeling it and feeling it until you've got 1,000 cuts and you're in so much excruciating pain that it's going to kill you. Like it's going to come to a head. So you have to address it.
Dude, I absolutely love that. And this brings me to my next question, which I'm just going off. This one came to me. I feel like it's super valuable and people will gain a lot from it. Obviously, not everyone is super open to revealing what they're doing to themselves, right? Because it's sometimes embarrassing. You don't want people to know like what's happening on the inside and you want to keep an image. What was it that gave you the courage to say yes to working with me? Because I feel like there's a lot of times there's a ton of resistance in the beginning because you're like, I don't know if I'm ready to feel these emotions. I don't know if I trust fully. Like, what was it that gave you the confidence to say, you know what? Let's just fucking do this.
Dude, honestly, it was your bluntness to be real with me is what gave me the courage. Like you recognize being my friend and of knowing me, but I don't think it's any different for anyone else. I think you would easily do exactly what you did for anyone else that's coming forward who needs help. You recognize that I was reaching out for help and that I needed help. And when I started to have that sort of defense mechanism kicking in, that anxiety that was popping up, that was like, hey, hold on a second. I'm kind of scared. I still feel like something might come about. So I'm afraid to do this. I'm afraid to do that. I'm afraid for change. And you recognize that like, hey man, that's exactly what is the problem. And I'm like, and then you just hit me with it. And I was like, ah, damn it. He's right. That is the problem. That is the problem. And I was like, all right, here we go. We got to do this. We gotta, you know, you've gotten to like, it takes a lot to be able to, when I'm putting up that wall, for you to come in with like a freaking hammer, just be like, no, and just break it down. And I feel like you can only do that to somebody if you are 100% in control of yourself. If you are, you know, authentically know who you are and 100% have certainty that you can help. So knowing that I trusted you and knowing that it was exactly what I needed, by you just being so real with me about it, that's what really brought me over the hump.
I feel that, bro.
You know, like I appreciate you for that. Seriously, like I remember that day very vividly. I remember sitting here with all those emotions, and sometimes even let myself feel them again. I'm like, yeah, man, I remember that. That sucked. I remember feeling that, and like I don't want to ever be put in that position again, man. So like it was great to be able to say like, hey, yeah, like you hit me where I needed it, and like that was what allowed me to grow. And then everything from there, it was like, in a lot of ways, that moment was the biggest growing point. Like I know it's kind of weird to think, but like if I'd have just said no and like stayed where I was, like I can't even imagine where I'd be. Like, you know, now it's insane. So that needed to happen before it could even get to this point. And the rest of it was easy. I showed up, we chatted, we went through things, and we just came to these realizations like every week.
And that's moving into my next question. I just wanted to thank you so much for sharing all that. I feel that. It feels so good to hear that from you, bro. And that was such a powerful moment in our relationship, and I'm just so excited. And that brings me to my next question, which is, how would you describe the experience in working with me and sort of the process? Because I think it's super important to note this. We originally agreed to 12 weeks, but we made so much progress that after 8, we felt complete. And like, I think that's important to share. Is like, a lot of times the people who are the most afraid are the ones that actually would probably grow the fastest if they just surrendered. So how would you describe the process and some of your takeaways?
I think the process is very personal. Like, I think you have to have a willingness to be honest, and you have to have a willingness to be like, hey, you know, like my wall's down, you know, and sure, you're going to challenge people to break it down a little bit because you need to break it down in order to get to that point to where you start to grow. It's the only way it's going to work. You got to go below the surface and really kind of figure out what's really, festering down there to bring it up, to feel it. So that way you can heal from it. It's the only way. So I think that the process, like, you dig really deep, you're not really afraid to go anywhere as long as the person's comfortable with it. And I think that if you go into it as a client, if you go in and you recognize that, like, hey, this may be tough. There may be some tough conversations that need to be had. We might be bringing up some things that I didn't even know we were going to bring up. And you need to be okay with having that conversation, because if you don't, you're risking yourself just not getting to that place of authenticity, not getting to that place of clarity and certainty and feeling confident and feeling better. And Graham does a phenomenal job of bringing that out. And so the only word I can really use to describe it is it's very personal. And that's good. I mean, I think you want a mentor to really know you. You want them to really kind of dig deep and be like, hey, man, I know you so well that this pattern that keeps coming up, brother, it's not what we're looking for anymore. I'm not looking for that. Like, I can see it happening. So let's break that down and let's talk about why that's happening. And I think having that is phenomenal. And it brought me to a point where, like you said, like, we got so clear on kind of what was going on, and we just dug it down and really like dug into it and figured it out, that we got 8 weeks in and I was like, hey man, like we're doing good. Like, I feel great. Like I've never felt as good as I feel now, to the point where we both just like agreed, like, yo man, like you're there. Like you've made growth, you feel good. And I felt confident that I could just kind of continue on my own with my practices that I've learned. So that wouldn't have been possible for me to have that type of confidence in myself without getting really personal with you and really digging into that.
Thank you, brother. I love that. I think it's super important for people to note out there too. Like, when I work with people, and I know people probably don't agree with this, but I don't really care. I'm a spit in the hand kind of guy. And what that means is that, like, I only ask for payment for the work we've done. So even though we agreed to something more extensive, I don't ask for the money for the month we never did. And I think there's a lot of people that do, like, stuck in something. I don't roll with that. That's not natural. There's nothing natural about that. Life grows and flows continuously on its own accord. It grows into things. So I don't believe in these like commitments of, well, oh, just because you said you're going to be a tree that's 60 feet tall, if you didn't get sun one year or enough rain, you only grew to 59 feet, you owe me the extra foot. Like, that's not how I work. So I think it's important to share that too, just so for people to have context. And I love that, Chris. I love that you described that really well. And that leads into my next question, which is, I know you've had a lot of other coaches. What about me? Do you feel really made the difference for you? Because I know, looking at you right now, this is the strongest version of yourself I've ever seen. What about me do you feel like really helped to create that? Or what about me do you feel like is the thing that really separates me?
I think a lot of coaches out there, and they build out these certain pillars, they build out this certain way of doing things, and they get very, very tied into this blueprint worked for this person, so it's got to work for you too, and it's got to work for this person, it's got to work for this person. And that's not always the case. And quite honestly, I've noticed that's pretty much never the case. So I've done at least 7 or 8 coaching programs where it was literally like, you follow this specific thing, you're going to get results. And sometimes you see some results, but it was never like, whoa, like, hey, this is personal to me and where I'm at, And some people will promise, like, hey, it's going to be personal to where you are and where you're at, but it's really never that way. It's always plug and play. And I think for you, there was no like, hey, I have a certain system of how I'm doing things. It was more like you actually listened to me and were like, yeah, let's figure out how we can make this work. Yeah, let me think. Let's talk. Let's see where it ends up, and like, let's get there. It's more of like you put your arm around the person and you say like, hey, I see. Okay, so tell me where you want to go. Okay, I see that now. I see what you're seeing. Here's how we're going to talk about getting you there. And it's not the same for any person. So nobody's going to come in and be like, hey, like, this is how it's going to be done. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And by this point, you should be here. There is no, at this point, you should be here, because everyone's going to experience growth differently. And I think it's important that, you really kind of help guide that change in just a very personal way. That's what separates the difference, is you're not afraid to meet anyone where they are and take them wherever they want to go, because let's be honest, like, nobody has the same goals. And a lot of the coaches and the other gurus out there that are spitting whatever, any person who's sitting there promising a certain result by X amount of time or whatever, it's typically Can I swear?
Please.
I don't care. It's typically complete and total utter bullshit.
Yeah.
Like completely. It might happen. It may happen, but it also probably won't, because it's not going to be personalized to you. And I think that's the biggest thing that you've done, just a phenomenal job of doing, is being authentic and helping make sure that it's just a personal approach from step A to whatever step we need to go to.
I love that, dude. I love that, whatever step we need to go to, because frankly, I never know. It's revealed to me too. And I think that's like a huge part of understanding this experience, is that like I'm also learning about you. There's these places we're going are also new to me. The thing is that I just have been there to a degree within myself. And so I can, and even still, like just trusting that I know where to go with you. And, I really think you articulated that really well. So thank you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. And my next question for you, I had it and it just like dropped right out of my head. We'll go to a different one then. It'll come back to me. My question to you was going to be, do you feel like, with all that said, I know that a lot of the other coaches you hired were for business and stuff. Do you feel like this is the most prepared you've ever been to execute in business?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, if you are not 100%, on a personal level, like, if you don't feel certain in yourself, if you don't feel authentic to who you are, if you don't feel like you are 100% complete, certainty of who you are, what you're bringing to the table, what your values are, all those different things. If you don't have that, there's no way your business is going to work. It's not, because sure, there are plenty of blueprints and systems and things that a lot of people do to scale businesses that work really, really well. But if you aren't true to yourself and you don't know how to really bring yourself to the table, you're just always going to feel like a fraud. You're always going to feel like you're not fully getting to where you want to go. You're always going to feel like something's missing. And so I think that's what's really kind of brought me to the next level with the business. Like I know I can definitely execute on this. I've chosen to take time off because I know that's what I've decided I want to do. But I could just as easily jump into this tomorrow and be like, all right, like this is what I'm doing. I know what to do. I'm ready to roll. And I don't feel like I need like to rely on any other coach to be like, oh, I need this blueprint, or I need this thing, I need that script, or this or that. Like, it doesn't matter. In fact, like a lot of that stuff, like I said, it may work, but it's not going to work for you unless you are literally feeling like you can work for yourself. And that's like the whole thing. You have to be able to feel like you can actually do the work and that it makes sense for you.
It's not going to work for you unless you feel like you can work for yourself. Yeah. Right there.
Man, I'm spitting quotes today. I don't know.
Like I said, peeps, follow him. That's it right there, dude. I couldn't agree more, man. And I think it's just really a testament to, again, your willingness to surrender and just experience that which was already ready. Here it is. You're experiencing that which you're already experiencing, except instead of experiencing a bunch of little pricks, you're experiencing the full go, and then you're reborn each week. That's it. Mm-hmm. You're already experiencing it. We all are experiencing it, whether it's anxiety or doubt or fear or scarcity, whatever it is, it's there. The difference is now we're taking it head on instead of running from it. And knowing that we have a dragon chasing us, we're turning around and we're going, okay, here we go. Shield down, sword up. And I'm like, swing. And you're like, should I swing? You're like, do you think you should swing? Yes. Okay. It's like.
That's exactly it. Exactly it.
Right? So.
It's the other thing too. It's like, you can give a man a fish or you can teach a man to fish. You know what I mean? And a lot of these coaches are just giving other coaches fish and being like, here. And then it's like, okay, well, what next? And what now? And what now? And what now? Right. Instead of being like, well, what do you want? How do you want your business to work? It's a lot smoother. And I even like, I remember being the person who was just like, and you remember this part of me, like I was looking for every script. I was like, I was just burned into whatever script I could get my hands on, whatever it could be to like help optimize this little bit of more, or, have the right wording for whatever. Like, but in reality, like, what to say, what's right for you. And people, you're going to have the better relationships with your clients too, when you literally are the way you are, supposed to be, like the way you want to be. And if somebody's attracted to who you actually are, you're going to have a better coach to client relationship instead of being who you're trying to portray a certain image, but not actually being that image, you're going to feel like a fraud all the time. You're not going to feel like that person. I mean, it's just not going to work. You know, it's not authentic to who you are. It's just not the way it is.
Couldn't agree more, man. And that to me is mirrored in a lot of people trying to convince you need to have this avatar and like outthink them. And my, you know, for a while, I know you know that Leaders and the Legends and my philosophy is connection over conversion. Today, I shifted that and added to it and added this thing too, which is conversation over content, right? Instead of trying to outmaneuver, manipulate, outthink, and convince people that you're the person for them, just have the conversation that's on your heart with your audience and allow the people who are ready to be a part of that conversation to step forward. And that way you're always on because it's you. And you don't have to like become this thing that they think you are. Right? So just to your point, man, it's so beautifully articulated. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's brought about so many shifts in me. Like, I can just give an example. Like, having the certainty and being able to execute in business is different, like, so much from the point of like always looking for a blueprint, in the sense that I used to be the person who was obsessed with writing the perfect content, writing the perfect this, or the video had to be perfectly articulated in order for it to be good. Now it's like, well, screw it. Like, I am who I am. I'm just going to do the live video and just get up there and do whatever. And it's fine. You know, like, I'm just going to write the content and put it out there and write in my own words. And if I don't feel like editing it, I'm not going to edit it, because there's nothing to edit. It's just me. It's what I felt like saying in the moment. And if I make a typo, I make a typo, whatever. It doesn't matter, because I want them to receive me as me, and I'm a human. I'm going to make a typo. It's going to happen. You know?
Right? Here it is. Chris being Chris now saves Chris tons of energy, because Chris isn't trying to be someone that he's not. And that actually will get you closer to where you want to be faster, because you're not spending all that time in analysis paralysis trying to figure out who you're supposed to be, that someone's convinced you that you should be, so that you can attract the person that you really want, but the person you really want just wants you. Yeah. So question beyond that is, what do you feel like were some pivotal moments in our coaching experience, or some like really powerful memories you have of working together?
Definitely the moment you kind of laid down the wall for me and got me in the first place. That was one of the biggest pivotal moments probably of my entire life. That I can say right there took me straight up into recognizing that, wow, this is way more serious than I really thought it was. I knew it was serious, but I didn't realize how serious this really was. And you know, I just let down the wall and was like, all right, let's roll. I think that was a very big pivotal moment. And quite honestly, there were a couple more moments like that throughout this, where it was, you know, just showing up and being like, hey, I this serious problem is happening to me on a personal level, like within, you know, my personal life. And I've never said this out loud before. I've never said anything like this, you know, before. And we just dug into it, and we were like, hey, why do you think that is? And it just changed my whole outlook of exactly like kind of how I thought in the first place, and what I was doing, and allowed me to really see it from the other side, the other perspectives, and be like, oh, okay, now I see how I'm coming off, and I see how that could be portrayed as not how I'm intending, you know. And it's like, being able to have and recognize those moments are just going to help you grow so much. And it was pivotal moments like that helped me see things in a completely different way. And you can only get to that point by going deep, like what we've done. So we've had multiple moments of just talking and going through that.
And my question to follow up would be, how did you see yourself versus how do you see yourself now?
Yeah, I mean, I saw myself before as kind of, you know, broken, lost, just uncertain in what he wanted to accomplish, what he wanted to do. He was even showing up as each day. And now I see myself as somebody who is a lot more certain in what they're doing, very clear in, you know, intention of what actions I'm taking each day. And that may be no actions too. And the fact that I can take no actions and be like, yeah, it's cool. It's cool, man. You know, that's what
living is cool. You're allowed to live. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure that's okay. I want to consult the entrepreneur playbook real quick to make sure that's in there. Okay, cool. It's okay to just not do something. Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, it's really nice sometimes to wake up in the morning and literally be like, you know what? I'm going to eat breakfast and then do whatever. You know, like maybe I'm gonna play you know, a video game for like a couple hours, or maybe I'm just gonna go to this place. And you know, like you'd be surprised by just living your life as well what type of inspiration you'll have. Like there's certain things like just looking around that I'm like, you know what, that just gave me an idea for this. Like, and it's funny, like I'll just have conversations with people, like not even you know, because like you said, I'm a fitness coach, not even intending for this to kind of go into inspire something with fitness. I'll have a conversation with someone randomly and it'll just pop up like, whoa, I just came up with an idea that could help with how I'm doing things to be able to better serve another person who might have this thing. You know what I mean? And it's like that pops up all the time, but that's not gonna pop up if you're living in your bubble, like work, 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 never sleep, never eat, whatever, you know, like however entrepreneurs, however it is, you know, like it's crazy. And I used to be like that. Like I would get anxiety and do nothing and over analysis, you know, paralysis by analysis all the time because I didn't know what the hell was up and down, like with my business. Like I knew where I wanted to go and I was just freaking out of everybody can help me get there. The grass is greener on the other side. This guy's doing this person's doing that. She's looking great doing this thing. What do I do? You know, it's crazy. So I don't have that anymore. That's not the way it is. I've given myself like full permission to just go about my day and it's going to get me where it's going to get me.
Permission to be. Permission to be. Congratulations on that, bro. Feels good.
I mean, I would have never gotten to this place if it wasn't for the, like what we just talked about, those pivotal moments that needed to be broken into, you know, and really just figured out. I would have never gotten here. So that's, you know, something that, which is why I really wanted to come on here and talk about it, because more people deserve to be able to have this type of deep inner help that they need, because I'm willing to bet a majority of you probably don't even have any idea how much success you could potentially have by trying. But like when you're trying to have success, it's not going to maybe work for you, or it might have worked to a certain point. But if you don't actually kind of figure out and you're feeling lost, or you're feeling kind of like, whoa, I'm not really sure what's going on, or I feel anxious, or what felt good before doesn't feel good now. If you're having those doubts or having those things, you need to dig into this personal side of you in order to fix those things. It's not going to come down to better systems. It's not going to come down to a better script or a better, or hiring more people or anything like that. It's going to come down to you recognizing who the hell you really are in this moment. Because you go through chapters sometimes and you might change, and it's scary to actually think about that you might have changed. You know, it's crazy. And to recognize that and to go deep on that, that's where you're going to experience the most growth.
Let's fucking go. I'm fired up, bro. And the follow-up question to that is super important. For those people out there you're talking to right now, what can they expect working with me, from me?
Oh man, they can expect a lot. They really can. I mean, they can expect a mentor and a friend. I think that's important to couple the two, because it's, I don't know how to explain it other than you don't want to disappoint him by any means. And just because he shows up so authentically and he just is, and it's not like he's gonna like be pissed off at you. It's the fact that he's not going, he's just shining a mirror on you. So if you don't do, you know, what you guys have figured out like needs to be done, it's not even like you feel like you let him down. You feel like you let yourself down, because he's never putting himself into it, you know, in that sense of like his emotions are going to be hurt or anything like that. It's more of like, damn, I just let myself down so hard. And that's the worst. You don't want to let yourself down. Like that's the worst you can possibly do. So I think expect somebody to be there on a personal level who's going to really shine the mirror on you and let you know, like, hey, this is what's happening. How do you feel about that? And you may feel good, you may not. You know?
Yeah.
And if something's up, then you probably aren't feeling so good. And then we talk about it. You figure out what needs to be done. It may challenge you, and then you need to challenge yourself. And that's how it's going to go.
Yeah. Well said, Chris. Well fucking said, man. And with all that said, and this new this new person that you are, this new state that you're in right now, what can we all expect? And what can I expect to see from you in the next 6 months as you translate this energy into what you're creating and who you are as a person? What's on the net? What's on the map for you?
I've been doing a lot of thinking about that, actually. And there's a lot to still be discovered. There's a lot to still figure out on that end. But I can say that the future is very bright, and it's going to be much brighter because I'm looking forward to helping people. I'm looking forward to really bringing the best out of the clients that I take on. I'm looking forward to really building a business that I can be extremely proud of. Whatever that looks like. I know it's going to be fitness. I know it's going to be changing lives. I know it's going to be sustainable fitness and living a beautiful and balanced lifestyle. I know that's going to be the thing. It's just a matter of, figuring out exactly how I want to bring that to the table. And it's different for everyone. So that's what's to expect in the next 6 months is me working hard on bringing that to reality and bringing on clients, helping amazing people, be able to become more amazing, and just going from there.
Peeps, follow them. The final question, Chris. If you have anything else you feel called to share, this is the place to share. Whatever you feel.
I would say that I feel like if you've watched the video to this point and you're still somehow on the fence and you're still sitting there like, man, this does sound really good. I do think I can get a lot of growth, but I'm still hesitant. I'm still not sure. I'm not sure what it all entails. I would tell you that you need to speak with him. No holds barred. You need to just have the call, talk with Graham, figure out and just chat. There's no harm in just talking at the end of the day. He's not going to pressure you into doing anything that you don't actually want to do or that you don't actually need. But he is going to show the mirror to you. He is going to help you recognize what's holding you back, what, is making you feel not exactly the way you want to feel. And at that point, it's up to you to figure out where you want to go with it. I think the amazing thing about Graham is that there's not going to be any sales tactic. There's not going to be any like, whoa, wait a second. You get a quick action discount, like for signing up. There's not going to be anything like that. And it's going to be, just chatting, like having a good conversation. You show up, hey brother, what's up? How you doing? Like, that's just how it's going to be. It's going to be a good conversation, and it might be the best conversation that you have to get you moving where you need to go in your life. So I would say that if you're on the fence, just have the call, give it the benefit of the doubt, because you're literally losing nothing, but you have everything to gain.
Amen. Thank you, brother, for sharing.
And he did not tell me to say any of this. I just want to say that. Like, he probably didn't even expect I was going to say that. So, I'm just letting you guys know.
Be out here. And the thing I want to point out too is this is super important, because I think that people have this predisposition that when you hire a coach, you should be 100% in, but I don't think it's true at all. I think that for you and many others, you're like 80 or 90, and then you're scared shitless for the rest. And do you feel like you still had resistance even when you knew it was the right decision?
Yeah, I think if you don't have any resistance and you're 100% comfortable, then it may not even be the right thing you need to do. Like, that's it. Like, if you're not, because that uncomfort is literally how you grow. And if you feel 100% comfortable, like, wow, I just made the best decision of my life. I gave him all this money and I'm excited and whatever. Like, okay. If there's not any little bit of resistance, maybe think about that a little bit.
The uncomfortability is the growth zone.
Exactly.
That is the work. It's actually highlighting what we're going to do. The difference
exactly.
People who say yes and who aren't ready is that the ones that are ready, like I said, are ready to turn around and fight the dragon finally and stop running.
Mm-hmm.
And, I teach you how to fight the dragon.
That's exactly what he does. Yeah. You've obviously, this is what you do. So you have a better wording of it than I would, but at the end of the day, that's what it is. Well, that's all that Zelda.
Right. So, but that's it. And so I just want to bring that, because I've been hearing a lot lately from people, if you're not 100% in, you're 100% out. Like, I don't believe in that. I really don't. I think that you have to have a willingness, but I think any person would be slightly nervous to fight the dragon, right? Every great of all time has consistently said, even Mike Tyson said, I was scared before every fight, but I had a willingness to go in there and do it anyway. And so I just want people to know that, like, when we get on that call, like, there's zero pressure from me. I will call you out for sure. But if you don't have the willingness, then the call won't go down anyway, because you're not ready to actually face yourself. It's not me, it's you. You don't want to face you. You're not facing me, you're facing you. So I just wanted to add that on because Chris articulated it so good, bro. Thank you. That was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is for the people, I mean, out there that are watching this, that if you need the help, I mean, don't be afraid to get it. Because looking back, if I would have not gotten the help I needed, and I was about 80%. Like I remember, like I was like, got off the phone and I was like, yeah, I know this is what I need, but like, damn, this is still scary. Like I'm still like worried about this, which is kept reminding me, like, kind of what came up on the call. It was like, oh yeah, like I know I need to do this. I'm scared. I know I need to do this. I'm scared. I know I need to do this. And it just kept going in my head. And then we showed up for that first call and I was like, I don't know what to expect. I don't know what we're going to do. I have no idea like what's going to happen here, where this call is going to go. And I think what's funny is neither did you. You know, like you don't know where the call is going to go. You show up, we talk, we figure it out. And it just like has this way of seeping out of you. And then like, you know, like we just figure it out and we get to the bottom of it. And every call has been like that up until it wasn't. And then it was like, yeah, now I know I'm good. Like it's perfect. So that's really it. I mean, you just got to show up. You got, you know, it might be uncomfortable, but that's good. It should be.
Well said, brother. Thank you so much for sharing your insight, for sharing your wisdom, because you just dropped a ton of it, and for sharing your perspective on working with myself and Pillars of Growth. And I'm just really, really grateful for you, dude. And I'm really excited for the path and the direction you're going and the man that you are. And just wanted to share that with you and just say this was super received and heartfelt. Peeps, if you want to find Chris, I'll pop all of his information below on Facebook and Instagram, etc. Other than that, brother, I really appreciate you. Thank you. Peeps, Chris Klevan, a legend is born. Here he is. My man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, for sure, man. Appreciate it.
Right here. And one more time. A legend is born. Chris, the Mountain King. Come on, let's go right here. And you can expect that, people. We're going to make up nicknames and we're going to put you in a video game and you're going to become the main character because you have to slay that motherfucking dragon. And you're going to need those boosts of the nickname, right? You're going to become a legend.
Sure.
You can be safe. Much love to everybody. Chris, you have anything else you want to say?
I'm good, everyone. Just if there's anything holding you back, I promise you, just give it a shot. Don't hold back.
I mean, how dangerous could I be? I got a Zelda shirt on, man. You know what I'm saying? All right, peeps. That's enough out of me. Be good. Be safe. Much love to you. We got a legend right here, Chris Club. Peace, peeps.
Thank you, brother.
You got it.